What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where today I want to talk about Anthony Richardson. And what I want to do is look back at 2023 and look at some of the tape from 2023 and look at some of the growth that he had just in the first 4 games of action that he had. And what I want to start with here is going to be the first game, first drive, second game, first drive. Okay, looking at those first drives, kind of see the growth and kind of see how Anthony Richardson came into the league. So starting with week 1 here, and what we're looking at here is, again, the first play on the first drive of the season against the Jaguars, starting at the 25. And as we start rolling here, you'll see just a quick pass, right? Out to Josh Downs, rookie to rookie. This is getting your rookie quarterback a quick completion, getting your rookie wide receiver an easy reception, get the ball in each of these guys' hands, let them get a feel for the NFL real quick, and then we start moving. Okay, then you look at second down as second down comes up after the quick first play. You have Anthony Richardson looking to throw the ball downfield. Drew Ogletree, it's just too tall for him. This is what we talked about with Anthony Richardson coming into the NFL, was that some of his throws just too high. Sometimes he rips the ball just too much, getting it out above the receiver. This one, 20 yards downfield, and he's still ripping it above Drew Ogletree's head. So coming into this year, that's what we're hoping to see, is a development into somebody who can become more accurate. And I felt like as the year went on last year, right, the first few games, we saw him starting to improve in the short to intermediate passing games. Still throwing the ball. He throws really hard. That's really what it comes down to, is he throws the ball really hard, gets away from him sometimes. And this was an example of that in the first game. Drew Ogletree just unable to go up and get it. And then this play I thought was really interesting, the third play on the first drive. And this ends up being a sack on this one. But man, if you look and you just see real quick, you see Michael Pittman Jr. right here. Okay, he was covered up. He's triple covered up here. We have Kylan Granson coming down right here, occupying this guy. He's got to stay just enough to where Michael Pittman Jr. can come this way, and he's open. Okay, if AR was able to get this ball out, this is going to end up being a play that gets us to the 50, maybe past, depending on what happens with this defender in the back end. So could have been a big play, wasn't able to, but that's AR's scrambling ability, able to get to a spot where he can make a play. Okay, again, triple covered, he still would have been able to get his guy the ball. So that's what we like from Anthony Richardson, is his big play ability and being able to get away from guys. Okay, now we'll go look at the second game. This ended up being, I believe, a 12-play drive, but what I want to do is just take a couple of plays out of this one, right? And I believe this is the first or second play of the drive. You see just a nice, easy completion here. And Michael Pittman Jr. ends up fumbling the ball, but nonetheless, the Colts do end up getting it. Now, what I liked about that play is he's just finding the open man, right? We go back and look at this as we start rolling here. You see on the top, got one-on-one coverage. Michael Pittman Jr. crossing underneath. Then you have 2 tight ends here that are going to be crossing over him and occupying these guys, keeping these guys on top of him. Everything going on top of the tight ends so that Michael Pittman Jr. can come underneath. And then when you see this guy right here, whether that's linebacker, safety, whatever, he's occupied with the running back coming out of the backfield. So you have this, and if you just saw that, these 2 guys right here just bumped into each other, which is exactly what this play is designed to do. You want to get people in muddy area. This guy trying to get to the running back just bumped into 21 here and got 21 out of position enough to keep Michael Pittman Jr. open, give him some space, and he gets past 21, ends up getting up near the 40, loses the ball, Luckily, the Colts keep possession though. Okay, but then as we look at the next play that I want to show you guys, kind of the same kind of concept, right? Zach Moss going in motion. Now, early on, you have Josh Downs. This is basically the same thing but flip. Josh Downs coming underneath, but this is a more man coverage look. You have four immediately trailing him. This guy's stepping up to kind of cover the tight end here. So as we play this, you see all of a sudden two guys on Josh Downs here. Four still trailing. This linebacker decided to go for Josh Downs because that's what they did when Michael Pittman Jr. got the ball, right? They went to the guy that went underneath. All of a sudden, Kylan Granson about to pop free because this tight end up here is occupying this safety or linebacker up here. Boom, Kylan Granson wide open. And that's what you like to see is just a quarterback being comfortable in the pocket, right? You see what's happening up here. He had some space, but he had guys come from behind him up here. The clock was running down. He stayed calm. He found the open man. He knew where to look with the ball and did exactly what he was supposed to do. Wide open Kylan Granson. Kylan Granson getting upfield to the 45-yard line. Okay, and then as we continue on here, we're looking at the next play. And this here is a scoring play for Anthony Richardson. This is the rushing play. You look at what's being set up, and you have two receivers on the left side of the screen. You have two receivers on the top right side of the screen. And you have Zach Moss flooding out to that right side. And everything indicates pass here, right? Four wide receivers, running back. Everything tells you this is going to be a pass. And they still only have one safety up here. That's what makes this play so impressive. They have one back safety and then a bunch of people up in and near the box. And then boom, Anthony Richardson pulls it. You get the good block here. And Anthony Richardson, being a dynamic playmaker, just takes off. Pittman, if you look on this play as we continue on here, you have Kylan Granson bringing his guy to the boundary. Michael Pittman Jr. is going to occupy his guy. You have the block right here, the seal block right here, and then Anthony Richardson just being an absolute athlete, getting past everybody. Boom, easy touchdown for the young man. So that's what I really like to see, and I'll show you this. I'm going to let it play from this angle. And Anthony Richardson just being a playmaker from the first drive in the first game to the first drive in the second game, and the comfortability that we saw from Anthony Richardson, I thought was really good. Exactly what you want to see from a young player, especially a young quarterback, getting comfortable, and you just continued to see him get comfortable. Now, unfortunately, he wasn't able to complete the Texans game because of the concussion. Didn't play in the game against Baltimore because of that concussion lingering on, but he did play in the next game. So we're going to move on to a different example here. A lot of this coming from the Rams game there in week 4. But I just thought there was some really good stuff to look for with the Colts at the goal line with Anthony Richardson at quarterback. Okay, so what we're going to look at here is a collection of plays at the goal line. This one is Anthony Richardson's first NFL touchdown, his first rushing touchdown in week 1 against the Jaguars. And we saw this formation a lot with the Colts last year with Anthony Richardson in the lineup. So here I just want to go through and showcase just how dangerous it is when Anthony Richardson is in the lineup near the goal line. So let's go ahead, play this. You see, I believe they called this the wishbone. I could be wrong. I believe this was the wishbone formation, if I'm not mistaken. You obviously have a running back, a tight end, another tight end, and then obviously Anthony Richardson. Okay, then you have Alec Pierce blocking on one end, on the left end of the line, Mo Alley Cox blocking on the right end of the line, and then our 5 offensive linemen. So this formation looks like it's run centric. That's exactly what we do here. See how this works? You get the motion, you get blocks inside, you get Will Fries pulling over, Drew Ogletree pulling over, and just like that. See, what I like about this play is that they're pushing everybody to one side, having the pullers come over, and then Anthony Richardson finds his lane, right? So right here, he sees, I need to go behind Drew Ogletree. That's where it's at. Exactly what he does. Just go behind the big tight end, and boom, in there for the easy touchdown. And then from this angle, you'll really be able to see what the offensive line does here. That motion, boom, offensive line, everybody's coming this way except Drew Ogletree, Will Fries. He pulls out, boom. You also have Kylan Granson here, who just pulling out. He's just pulling out, trying to occupy somebody's eyes, and boom, Anthony Richardson, wide open hole. In the NFL, that's a wide open hole. Gets in for the touchdown. And then here we're skipping ahead to the Rams game. And this is basically the exact same thing, except this time the offensive line wants to go left. We have Quentin Nelson, Kylan Granson pulling to the right. And it's the same concept, right? That offensive lineman gets the seal block right here, and then you follow your tight end in. That's the play. And it works to perfection both times. Left side and right side didn't matter. They were able to execute. Now, this is later, same formation, same game. Okay. Rams game. They saw this formation already. This is coming from the 5-yard line. We hadn't seen it happen from this deep yet. So let's see what the Colts decide to do here. Okay. Looks like possible run. They're pulling people to the right again. Looks like they could do it, but because both times we were in this situation, we ran the ball. Drew Ogletree wide open right here. So immediately pulls the ball down, gets the ball to his tight end, and Drew Ogletree gets in the end zone for a crucial touchdown. Okay, and of course, this Rams game, we still ended up losing in this Rams game, but these plays were huge in our comeback effort, right? We pushed this to overtime, and the touchdown was a big part of that. This 2-point conversion was also a part of that. You look at what we got going on here, same thing. Looked like he could hand it off. Now, when you look at we have the other angle of this, and you'll see it looks like he might be able to get in if he handed it off there. You'll see that there's no way that was happening. Great decision to pull this ball down. Great decision to look at Michael Pittman Jr. You have, I believe this is Alec Pierce up here occupying these two corners, doing a little, blocking out, and then Michael Pittman Jr. coming out here wide open. AR gets the ball to our guy and gets some more points on the board here. So again, just showing you this other angle for the people that think that he might have been able to hand this off, because I was one of them. I thought maybe he should have handed that off. Boom, look at that. Right here, you have this linebacker getting past, I believe that's Will Fries, if I'm not mistaken, got past Will Fries on that block. He could have had him. Even if Zach Moss gets past him, you have, I believe, Aaron Donald up here. Then you have another guy right here. I mean, just no way that run was going to get anywhere right there. Great decision by AR to pull that down. Sees the lineman coming at him, gets the ball to Michael Pittman Jr. So just loving what I'm seeing so far from Anthony Richardson. And before we get out of here, just a little treat. One of our favorite plays from Anthony Richardson last year in the last game that he played, made an incredible throw down the field to Josh Downs. Like, what we saw here is exactly what we were hoping for, right? Especially this connection, AR to JD, going downfield and boom, uncorks that thing and boom. Josh Downs, even being as small as he is, goes up, gets that ball, an incredible throw, incredible anticipation. Like, what I like is, like, when he releases that ball, we come back here. Let's see. He's releasing that ball right there. Josh Downs isn't looking yet, and Josh Downs is at the 33, 34-yard line with a corner and a safety that could cover him up. And Anthony Richardson said, nah, I trust my guy to go get this ball and to get down there. Boom, gets past one guy. And I mean, just an incredible play, incredible throw, incredible catch. Love to see that from a young man. Hopefully coming into this year, get more of this. This is what we're looking for, right? You have Michael Pittman Jr., A.D. Mitchell looks like he's probably going to end up being the guy. And then you have Josh Downs. So I'm absolutely loving what I'm seeing from the young guys, Anthony Richardson in particular. That's what we're talking about here, is our young quarterback coming into year 2. Just need that shoulder to stay healthy again. Talked about it a little bit yesterday, but just hoping that he doesn't throw much, right? He's been throwing a lot ever since he could start throwing. He started throwing 4 months early. He's been throwing a lot. Let's go ahead, take these next couple weeks, kind of hang out. Right, you're going to spend some time with your receivers at some point between now and training camp, but except for that little stretch, don't throw. That's what I'm hoping for. Keep that shoulder good. It's been a little sore, which is expected, right? Especially at this point. He wasn't even supposed to start throwing until July. So being able to throw at this point is great. Just don't overdo it. That's what I'm hoping as a fan. He says he just doesn't overdo it over these next few weeks. Need him in 2024. He's going to be an extremely dynamic part of this team, an extremely important part. Joe Flacco is good, but he can't do what AR can. So hopefully AR able to come back, stay on the field. This is a little bit of what we can do with him in the lineup. We're going to be extremely tough to stop, right? 20 plus points in almost every game with Gardner Minshew. That could be 30 plus in pretty much every game with Anthony Richardson, but we'll see what happens. You let me know your thoughts on all this, on what your expectations are for Anthony Richardson. You let me know down in the comment section. And of course, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you continue to get notified anytime any more videos come out. We're going to be doing more tape review and more discussions about these players between now and training camp. So again, make sure you subscribe, have those notifications on. Of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.